Okay, so Whisper, this is basically your reaction at the question of do you use these soaps? Goodness no! A pedestrian brand like that? That's only 6 figures! That's only 6 figures! I would be baby with such a thing.
I would probably rash and gain a pox for using something like that.
So you are familiar with it. Are they effective in removing smells or not?
More like applying smells.
I can't tell if you're pulling my leg here.
Pulling your leg? You don't have a sense of humor. Oi!
It's like Kun.
Lars just sits up in his bed. Sense a disturbance in the pool.
Yeah, it's that. No, Kun just shrugs. No, I've just far gone past the point of caring.
It's like I'm talking to a brick wall.
Anyways.
An emotional brick wall.
My theory was that perhaps they might have used these hospitals as ways to eliminate any sort of trails, such as the smell. But
well, considering the awkward reception you got from the receptionist, apparently that's not a normal thing.
Roll a sense motive check.
Oh.
Kun. Sense motive check.
Okay then. 24.
Okay. So you managed to piece a few things together. One, you get the feeling the soaps probably do work. They just wouldn't work by Whisper's standards. But then again, who has Whisper's standards?
Yeah.
Second,
but of course, Whisper does.
Second, sorry. To be fair, you were a stranger coming in the middle of the night saying, "May I please use your shower?" as opposed to someone on business coming over and asking, "Oh, by the way, may I use your shower?"
I think we should head back. We should pick up the pace. Our window is closing.
Very well.
So, when you say pick up the pace, what is it you do exactly?
Instead of just like walking and talking, we're not. It's
What I mean is, where are you going?
It's heading over to the to Korim and Claus.
Okay, so about an hour later, all of you are together. Sarah and Michael Etherian are in the room, in the sitting room with you as well.
There was a gigantic pit where a bunch of smelly experiments were taking place. Discuss.
Okay. For a second there, it sounded like you said smelly sperm.
Oh, smelly experiments. I have no idea where the heck you got that from.
Even I heard a smelly pitch where experiments were taking place.
It was like smelly sperm. Like, wait, did you say?
Oh, okay, I kind of get that a little bit, but still, that was a little weird. Anyways,
yes, I know. That's why I had to remark on it because it was fucking weird.
So,
Shay's mind is that
what we were doing is that we were fighting off a pit of animalistic horrors. What you were doing was being nearly killed by an angry noble and assassin who seems to have a thing for you. All can come from there. Yes, I will just be here.
Honey. Sarah says to her husband, "If you keep breaking pens like that every time Katir's name is mentioned, we're not going to have any left."
Didn't even mention his name.
Sorry, Sarah. It just... Oh, don't worry, I understand. I've just been imagining painful tortures for him in hell. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you, Vell. Please go on.
I don't know what exactly Whisper got up to. Tell me, how much gold do you have to pay out for whatever mischief you got into this time, Whisper?
Whiskey.
Honestly, none this time.
I love
Oh,
this time.
Did you actually offend anyone this time, or no?
Multiple people.
Okay, so it just wasn't that bad. Alright, Kun? How do you smell better?
I took a shower.
Wait, didn't you all take showers? We were down there for hours.
I mean, yes, they would have. But he had a hospital-grade shower, so it's a bit more noticeable.
It's like
I'm
the
sorry,
difference
but-
between private shampoos smell like almonds and lemons or hibiscus. This probably smells like bleach.
Whereas Korim is just intending on taking a long soak in a bath to deal with his very, very sore muscles.
Did we bring up the fact that we've figured out what the appearance of our culprits are?
You may do
Oh,
so.
I was just recapping what I knew, so that actually would be useful information that Claus, Korim, and Vell do not know. Kate, you've actually figured out who is doing this, or at least what they look like?
Well,
Impressed.
we at the very least know what disguise they might be using, or it might actually be Flemeth's, workforce.
I need to add a rule to my little philosophy. Never trust anyone whose name sounds like a bodily fluid.
Flemeth. Isn't that the
Um,
name? Flemeth sounds like the name of a witch from mythology. No, wait, that's the... Oh my gosh. So out of
Maybe-
character. I just realized that's the witch from Dragon Age.
Yes, yes it is.
Nate was not... Like I said, Nate was not lost on me. Lady Flemis is one of the Ancient 12. You've met her.
Well,
Lady Sarah Therion says she's worked with Claus' daughter several times. She's been one of the most giving to this city. If there's cruelty going on, I highly doubt that she's involved with it.
Or she's just very good at lying. I mean,
I mean,
are you expecting the general to attack your son?
exactly.
Actually,
To our girl's point, exactly. I mean, if I was going to go on a mass murdering spree, I would need some kind of cover. And who would suspect a generous, donating, kind individual? Like, seriously, that's the exact kind of smokescreen I would use.
You suddenly hear Klaus slamming his hand on the table. Just very loud.
Like a cat that's noticed a laser pointer on the table. Just Whisper just kind of looks at it.
If you're going to badmouth about someone I've been looking up for years now, could you please do it somewhere where I'm not listening?
Apologies. I didn't mean to necessarily badmouth. It's fortunately maybe a suspect.
this may be exactly what Mia wants. Us to fight amongst each other, suspect each other. I mean, he already seems to be going after the Ancient 12 to begin with. I'm sure he'd love it if we took care of ourselves for him.
This is also true.
I'm not-
Which brings me to something that you're not going to like, but I don't really care.
But
I'd be more surprised if you did.
So, you said Saber was ordered to kill Lord Kathir, but not you, yes?
that's what he said, yes.
And what is a quality that Lord Katia possesses that you don't yet?
Power.
You're not one of the Ancient 12. And I get the feeling that Mia has ordered Saber, now that he's mutilated the kings, to go after the next in line. Ancient 12. So, you managed to beat Saber once before, correct? When you were fighting him on your terms?
By the skin of our teeth.
If only there were a way for you to perhaps say, set a trap for him and get rid of him once and for all.
I think I have a fun idea. If no one else has any ideas.
Are you
And
intending
if-
on using yourselves as bait?
Thank you!
I figured as much.
That was my idea.
Yeah,
See,
now
he
Klaus
gets,
is very tense.
see, he
Klaus
gets
is-
it.
Yeah, Klaus is suddenly very tense.
As for making the bait more effective, I have another idea too.
I'm listening.
Well, we need to make our potential targets go into hiding in a way that doesn't arouse suspicion. We become their body doubles and don't necessarily make ourselves vulnerable, screaming, "Come get me, Saber!" But at the same time, create some kind of opening that he might try to exploit.
Indeed. I don't like this, Michael says, but we could move some of the protection, some of the guards assigned to us, to Lord Sirith. It would make sense. He's one of the people investigating Mia. He'd be a prime target. But if the security around him is increased, and the security around us decreased, it might look inviting to an opportunist like that. I will use assassin because he's a fucking bastard, his wife says.
They don't particularly care for this bait can, but
It makes sense. The thing is that Saber would likely be going after the ones that put themselves into positions where they are vulnerable first.
Ooh. Saber is one particular characteristic about Saber that I think might be entertaining to exploit as a weakness. He's incredibly proud, and pride is predictable. If we were to put up defenses around ourselves that supposedly no one would be able to circumvent or penetrate, and we were impersonating our bait, I almost guarantee you we'd strike only because we were highly protected in a location that was not vulnerable at all.
alright, then who's dressing in drag?
That's
And
right.
hula.
There are women in that group, aren't there?
Sorry, as soon as you said who's dressing in drag, all that went through my head was and doing the hula.
What do you want me to do? Dress as drag and do the hula? Ow!
I don't think you'll be able to disguise yourself as the entirety of the Ancient 12, but, well, like I said, I'm volunteering as bait.
That still raises the question of who's going to be in drag. I cannot, unfortunately, manifest long enough to serve as an effective body double.
How long can you keep your dead raised?
Oh, character, that's a great. Fortunately, they would look like skeletons, they wouldn't really help. See,
I'm
animate
very good at disguise. I'm just going to say.
it's 5 minutes.
I
Out of
could make
character.
a mannequin. I could make a mannequin look alive, dear.
Just 5 minutes, Whisper. Very long.
If only you had an illusionist, that would be great.
I do have illusions, but only war-based.
Only... So, for example, a patrol of soldiers leaving an area?
Most definite.
You know what would be probably the most appetizing bait for Saber would be having dozens of soldiers patrolling and encircling the location we want them to attack. After all,
I'm not so sure, Michael Ethering says. From what my son described, Saber only attacked Katir when Katir was at his most vulnerable point. I think
yes,
if this was, I think if this was Saber acting by himself, you'd be onto something. But
This is
I
a job.
exactly.
I don't think he'd be able. That being said, if we were to raise the defenses like that, I don't think he'd be able to help himself.
It's worth a shot.
What was that, Klaus?
Nothing. I said nothing.
We have to consider here, we're not just looking at Saber in the equation, we're also looking at the person employing him.
True. That being said, do you think Mia is using mind control on Saber the same way he used on me and my butler?
I have literally no idea. Who knows madmen like those two?
If I recall correctly, when we had him in our custody, we checked him for stray magics. There was no magic present on him of that nature. We specifically looked for that. That suggests that Mia at least expects him to act in his own way, act in accordance to his own nature, but at the same time, to a degree, apparently trusts Mia to follow orders.
Wait, Saber trusts Mia to follow orders?
Mia trusts Saber to follow orders. Apparently. We did check him for magic, including enchantments. I do not believe, personally, I think Mia has given Saber just enough rope to hang himself with.
Okay, I'll admit that I vagued out completely, but it fits with what I'm about to do. Korim's just been sitting there, kind of paying attention, kind of not. A couple of things have basically just been going through his mind. He's been processing everything. Okay, I know that this is way off topic and way back to what was previously, but I always knew that eventually Katir and I would end up in a position where we were facing one another. I kind of expected that. With regards to the Flemeth thing, it would actually be very, very useful and very, very convenient to use what Flemeth has done and to use her name as an excuse to actually do the types of things that these people in white clothes have done.
I agree.
I'm not discounting the possibility that Flemeth herself is a part of it, but I can't ignore the fact that she has put herself in a position to actually be used like that.
Granted. However, I personally am more of the opinion that agents are using... I'm personally of the opinion that someone is using her agents as a disguise. However, we could...
I believe that is exactly what Korim just said.
Yeah.
Yes, and I was agreeing.
Okay.
I was just... Whispers like... I just want you all to understand that I don't actually think that Flemeth is actually the individual behind this, but I would be remiss, just like you pointed out, that to not point out that she is in that kind of position. That being said, again, it's more likely that someone is just disguised themselves. But we can rule that out all at the same time. We can either confirm or rule it out with just a quick investigation.
We should be discreet. Therian says, we wouldn't want me to think that we're starting to fight among each other any more than we already are.
As for the Saber situation... The question really is how to actually pull him into a position that is advantageous to us. It can't be anything obvious. Something obvious... well... odds are he would see it coming.
So that rules out the plan. So I'm guessing that would rule out the come and attack us, please, I dare you, I double dog dare you, come and attack us plan.
It rules out the shouting from the rooftops, come and get me. But the thing is, what we would need to try to do is to try to make it look as though it was a mistake. An accident that put us into a position where Saber can actually strike at the one that he wants to strike at.
I might have an idea, Sarah says. Like I said before, an over-expenditure of resources. We send guards here to protect these people, guards there to protect those people, guards... Oh, whoops! We didn't have enough guards to properly protect the third person. What a tragic and unforeseen mistake. And after all, one of the age of 12 I may be, but my husband and I are simple historians. We don't command the military. We don't have the love of we don't have the love of thousands of people. We're not renowned warriors. Technically, we're the most expendable of them.
In terms of military and the people themselves, yes. In terms of culture, one could argue not. But no, honestly, I would personally think the Saber would save you for loss.
I agree. But if we make ourselves look like an open target...
Especially since he seems to have a thing for their son, which I still am having trouble wrapping my head around.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about that.
Is that supposed to be a secret? I apologize. I just found out. I just realized it today. Was that supposed to be a secret? Am I not supposed to say something? Like Claus, you
Sorry.
can kind of imagine her in your head, like, I do something wrong.
Klaus has been very vehemently ignoring everything, so
Still,
just shrugs.
Sarah sits up. It's been a long day. It's an even longer night. You will need your rest. We can discuss this tomorrow. So, the next few events is going to be taking place over a couple of days. Things are quiet for a little while as you all start making your preparation. We will go in alphabetical order, and also the order of someone who has been had something he has been itching to do. Klaus, what is it you do the next day, the next morning?
Well, I need to check if anyone comes with me first. Also, I need to go find the name again. My name memory is not the greatest.
You're talking about Lord Sirith, right? The investigator that you were working with in the last session?
Yes, Lord Sirith. That's who I need to go
Yes.
see.
Indeed.
So I'm just leave a note on the table and just write down. Going to see Lord Sirith, and is Vell gonna tag along?
Since he expressed interest in going on his own, Vell is choosing to not tag along out of respect for Klaus's wishes.
Okie doke.
Klaus, you do know that you have all been called to a council meeting in the council meeting at midday. You could try to meet with Sirith before then, or you could try to meet with him after or during the council meeting. Up to you.
Well, I'll meet him later then.
Okay.
I've waited this long. I can wait a few weeks later more.
Alright. So, at midday, you find yourselves at the council meeting. Lord Merrick informs the rest of the 12 what happened with Katia. The cover story they'll be going with. Lady Clear still protests, but Merrick points out to her that if the people found out that Katia was killed for trying to prevent a collaboration with the Reds, not everyone is as sympathetic to the Reds as House Aetherium is. They would be more likely to drive up sympathy for Katia. The people might say that he was unjustly killed, that he was doing the right thing. This story, this keeps the this keeps the hostility away from Master Aetherian. Lady Clearswell doesn't like it. Neither does Lord Sirith. Regardless of his feelings on Lord Katia, he certainly didn't want to frame the man for a crime he did not commit. But they realized the truth in his words.
Sorry.
Framing him, when I say crime he didn't commit, I mean a crime of working with Saber.
Ah. Well, he was being a bit of a dude.
Yes.
A bit.
Furthermore, Lord Merrick produces a note from the king. All Chiguran forces are to be recalled to the city ASAP, and Lord Merrick is being named acting commander of the Chiguran military until such time as either A replacement can be found, or B, Horus himself returns to good health and can resume command. Finally, security on all the Ancient 12 will be being increased due to the obvious risk to their lives. Is there anything you will bring up at the meeting?
Is there any way that we could perhaps communicate more effectively and more quickly in case anyone spots a person of interest?
It would be an interesting idea to look into. I... Speak to me later, young lady. I might have an idea.
It will all depend on my ride. But the reason I ask is that it's all well and good that we have all of these extra securities in place. But as we've... It really probably won't matter to him. He can weed through Katir's elite guard in a few seconds. And the rest of the military may as well be done for as well.
Katir...
We need a significant force.
Katir only had 5 people with him. You are correct that we need a significant force. That is why I am in agreement with King Horus's order to have all the Zigguran forces return to the city. This matter demands our immediate attention, and we should not waste time with half measures. It is at this moment you all suddenly hear a loud commotion. There is sounds coming from outside the door, and a head pops through. My lords, my ladies, there is a messenger here. He said it's quite urgent. What do you do?
Yeah, I'm going to want to find out what the hell is actually going on.
So does Lord Merrick. It's like...
Want something really quickly?
Yes?
Am I tagging Claus is going to talk with the person beforehand, after this.
Yes.
I'm tagging along in Korim right now. To the meeting.
Alright. Well, you're all at the meeting, including Klaus.
No, but
Claus,
since...
also...
I stopped.
Claus is gonna follow Korim to see what the message is about. I was going to say that, but every time I try to say something, somebody starts talking. I'm like, I better be quiet.
Apologies.
Anyway, what I actually wanted to do was, before anyone opened the door, I kind of wanted to do a mental check to make sure that the messenger wasn't compromised, because, we still are under threat of mind control.
True. Okay, so you don't detect mind control, but you detect a jumble of thoughts and excitement and... Oh.
Died.
Okay. So, I am not going... It is not a threat you get from him. You'll find out what you get from him in a second, because... So, the door opens and the messenger is let in. It looks like a guardsman, but obviously not one of the local ones. Sir! Lord Merrick! I have urgent news. The creature, the thing from the caves. It's the hawks. They. What is it? What happened to them? And this is when you realize he is out of breath, shocked and pale, but you see elation in his eyes.
It's gone.
The hawks have killed it!
What?
And that is the end of the chapter.